Welcome to the Multifaceted Art Entrepreneur. I am your host, Duduzile Matonzi, and this is the space where we talk to architects of the creative industry, those moving us from survival mode to sustainability and business. Today, I'm joined by a powerhouse who has seen the industry from both sides of the camera. She's a celebrated actress, a mentor, and the founder of KTL Casting, which recently celebrated its 10-year anniversary. Welcome, Kgomotso Ditshwene. Askisi.
Hi, Dudu. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm really good. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Thank you for being able to make this wonderful journey with me and entertain my shenanigans of producing such a podcast.
Quack.
You're probably thinking, oh, she's got her radio voice. It's switched on, hey? It's switched on. Gere ile.
You know?
Before we start, my darlings, so there's an icebreaker, and the icebreaker is, what is the meaning of your name? You know, as Black people, I find that our names have so much meaning and sometimes can contribute how our life unfolds and who we become, both good and bad. So I wanted to know, like, what does your name mean? And if you also know the family name as well, would you like to give us a little bit of a breakdown?
Beautiful, nicely deep into it. It's nice question. Thank you. I've got three on the ID, four beautiful names. Kgomotso, it means to comfort. Ukududuza, you know.
My name twin.
And I follow that. I follow my namesake. I'm a comforter. I'm there for people. I've got the right words to say. I don't know how, you know. And then Tumelo means faith. That's my me. It's my middle name and that's me. Literally, when they say faith is my middle name, I mean it. And Lesedi, which means the light. And I believe that's what I do when I walk into a room. I've got presence, I've got the light. The Bible says I'm the salt and the light of this world, and I believe that. And the fourth one, which my grandmother and my grand uncle gave to me, is Mikadeko, because my grandmother is Tonga. So I'm lots of blessings, not just one, but lots of blessings. And Ditshwene is a clan name, which means Imfene, monkeys. The naughty one. So yes, in a nutshell, those are my KTL. The business name is actually my
Right.
initial, KTL.
Right.
Yeah.
It's so strange when you say that the business name is that. Just yesterday, I was thinking about, I knew that I wanted to be a business owner from when I was like a child. And when I was a teenager, I used to draft my initials. And I was like, one day that's going to be my company name.
Oh,
And I was like, why have I not done this? Like,
why? Why have you not
no,
done?
but one of my
Why?
companies was Dulith, right? So that kind of like Tutu Libazisa, like it kind of, I have the triple barrel as well. Tutuzile Libazisa Spiso Matuns.
What are your
And
names?
so Tutuzile Libazisa Spiso Matuns.
Oh wow. The meaning, please.
So the comforter, the one that helps us forget, is Libazisa Spiso, the wish, and then the surname, the drops, the rain. I say it's the raindrops. So the comforter, the one that helps us console, the wish of the raindrops.
Beautiful.
So I turn it into poetry. Yes. And I think that's beautiful of being an artist, is that how do we take our names as Africans, because they're so long, and how do we turn those into poetry, But I mean, like, in some of those instances, we can see how creativity builds us. But enough about that. Like, I mean, you've had a highly successul career as an actress. I mean, I grew up watching you on television, like that's insane. And for us to, become friends over the years. And I was like, so you're an icon, and, from Zone 14 to Generations, to Backstage. Is it Backstage or Scandal? Scandal. Let me not age you. scandal. And I think as someone who's had such a longevity in this career, and you started quite young as well, moving behind the camera and in front of the camera, what was the art entrepreneurial spark that led you to start KTL Casting in 2015? I mean, we have the Moon Yin legacy. You are part of that, right? You trained
Yeah.
with the legacy. And what is the most valuable lesson she taught you about the eye for talent that you could still use today? But more importantly, what was that push that put you into the journey? Because I feel like a lot of artists don't think of that push into the entrepreneurial space.
Yeah. Wow. You asked three questions at the same time. Let me break it down. Okay. So you asked me, what was that push that made me move from in front to the back? So in 2012, I fell pregnant. My daughter's name is Matla. Since we're discussing names, Miss
Strength.
Power. Okay, Mrs. Power. And when I was single, when I was just me, it was fine for me to just be on every TV show. So you'd work for 3 months, and the rest
So
of
I've
the nine
heard.
months you are unemployed. But I
Hmm.
could survive because it was just me. I could save up, and then my money would stretch, and I'd do little odd jobs there. But when I fell pregnant, I couldn't raise my child on an actor's salary, which comes and goes. And then I decided to go to Moni Lee at the time, who was my agent as an actor. And I said to her, Mama, I want to do what you do. Ute, you're
Teach
going
me
to
your
hate it.
ways.
Yes, how you surviving in this
Teach me
industry.
your ways.
And she says to me, you're going to hate it. And I'm like, you're not hating it, so, And she says, come tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock. That was it. No CV, no interview. Just come tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock. I was there, 8 o'clock. And I trained with Moon for like 2 years. Training, 3 a.m. in the morning trainings. She was hardcore. God rest her soul. She threw me in the deep end. I casted things like Long Walk to Freedom, Five Fingers of My Sailors. It was hectic. But I swam and I learned, and I'm a casting director today because of her. And I love acting. Everything that I've learned in this industry in this 20 decades that I've been, 2 decades, sorry, that I've been in the industry. I enjoy doing. I enjoy acting. I enjoy casting. I enjoy producing. I enjoy directing. I enjoy teaching. I enjoy these many hats that I'm wearing in the industry. I love this industry, Dudu. I love it so much, and it just freaks me out when the government is not coming to the party. And I'm thinking, what am I going to do? This is all I know as an adult. Now I'm in my 40s. This is all I know. And the DTIC, yeah. Sorry. Next question.
I think it's one of the reasons I wanted to start this platform is to say that, guys, it's not all roses. Fame here
No,
does not look like the same as fame in the Americas. And I think
no.
one of my pushes to move abroad was that I looked at the pool and I was like, guys, I'm not surviving. I'm working. I think by the time I left, I was producing. I was, like call screening. I was doing radio. I was doing television. Like it was so much, and I've done everything. I've technical directed. I've assistant directed. I've researched. I've produced. I've presented. You do every single thing
Everything.
just to get a paycheck.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there's no unions in place. And I was like, I can't do this. And I remember when I left, the industry was in high demand for, oh, you need to have a degree in order to be recognized. And then I come back and it's like, what industry is this? But anyway, I'm not here to vent
Now
today.
the high
It's,
demand. Now
I
the
know.
high demand in the industry is you need to have a following, an Instagram following. The
Yeah.
numbers for us to hire you, for channel to like you, who's following you, when you tweet about the show, who's going to start watching the show. Now it's more business than talent.
I would differ that it's business, because business can be ethical. You know what I mean? It is capitalistic.
Oh,
Right? Because it's an extortion mindset. You can still have a business that functions in fairness, that functions and rewards. It's like what we've been told about art and the world is all crumbling down. It doesn't matter if you've done the strides and your parents had to sacrifice you studying and doing what. It doesn't matter if you took those courses. Whatever investment that you put in the arts, it doesn't matter. The only investment that matters is that you have enough people watching your content. And I applaud the youngsters and people who have moved to social media. And I have moved to social media as well. But I feel like what happens to the artists that have put the grit and the investment in that? And I think it's this gray zone that nobody knows how to operate with. But I do think it's very capitalistic of production companies to extort viewerships through social media. But I also do think it's high time that the artist actually migrates and reinvents themselves, just like IT people need to learn AI. We need to
when
evolve.
when you're in Rome, Dali, do what
You
the
know what I
Romans do.
mean? You need
I,
to evolve as well. We cannot
yeah,
resist this.
it's either that or you won't eat. You're going to starve. You're going to be a starving
Yep.
artist. So now you also asked about the eye of casting. Now, when it's things like that, that now we're focusing more on the numbers instead of, are you really that talented? Now, a casting director like myself, who's got the eye for talent, yes, the numbers and everything, that's technical for me. I do look at it, but it's not my first priority when I'm casting. When I'm casting talent. Will you carry the arcs? Will you carry the emotional journey of this character? Whether you look the part, we've got makeup. Whether you dress the part, we've got wardrobe. Whether publicity, we got PR, you know? So that's what I learned from Monine, that everything else in the showbiz, make believe. We can make believe it, but you can't make believe talent. You can't make believe the skill that you're an actor. You can't. If you're an actor, you can't. If you can't act, you can't act. And that's why you can't. Like you can't. That's like yeah, like. Did you have seen things? I've seen I've seen things like, yo, you can't take that donkey to the river. If they can't drink, they can't, they won't, you know? And sometimes you have to be brutally honest and say, let's try something else. Let's go behind the scenes and teach you production or continuity or wardrobe or whatever. You are still in the same industry, but you're not for the camera, you know? And yeah, I'm
I think
grateful for that.
that's very interesting. My career started behind the screen.
Yeah.
And it was because I also had a little bit of an imposter syndrome in a sense, like, like we go through a journey.
Oh,
And one of my journey was, I know that I have in my career, I've had a fear of being seen. And
a fear of what?
I'm not an of being seen,
Okay.
but as a human being, I'm not invisible. I
Of
can't
course.
hide,
Yeah.
and there's something about my aura that I cannot hide, but somehow I have a fear of being seen, which is really stupid. But
I
anyway,
mean,
the beginning of
hello?
my career, I invested in being behind production. And this is why, I was able to understand how television worked. By the time I'm in front of the camera, I already understand what has gone through. So I'm like, oh, okay, it's fine. This is what we need to do, blah, 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 blah. But also I'm able to help the direction of whatever we're shooting because I already understand how it works. And
Mm,
and therefore as an actor as well, I'm able to see the vision and also see myself in the vision. I feel like if someone doesn't understand the craft, you don't see the vision of how the craft is supposed to come together. And I think there's something very precious in that, in being able to see, even if it's just basic acting classes or something, there is somehow a mirror that shows you, okay, no, but if you look this way and you look this way, even if you do a workshop with a bunch of people, you get to see those nuances and you get to see the story. But if it's straight off the bat and you just coming in, I just feel like you're doing yourself an injustice more than anything, because we can argue that it's capitalism, but you as a talent, what do you want for your craft? Or are you just happy being in this thing? But I mean, like, you have done this. Congratulations, 10 years of having KTL and celebrating that. What the kind of, I mean, you've already kind of touched on it, of like what you've seen, but what do you think the art is looking like because of what you've seen? And I don't want to be elitist. I'm a person who's really, I'm very much for debunking, especially Eurocentric ways in which art is very elite and for the bourgeois, you know? But what has been the biggest shift in the South African casting landscape over the last 10 years for you?
We have talent. Oh, SA has talent. We've got talent. And yes, Dudune, the sad part of it is that we've got talent Laleni in the villages back home.
Yeah.
Like, those kids are so talented. And uh, they don't have the glitz and glam of the, what do you call these things? Like, I receive self-tapes now. And umuntu wakhona uzofaka i-filter, like a huge filter on a self-tape. And I can't really see you, Yes, I see the performance, but then figure when we're doing, and I'm like, I- okay. You know, abantwana basekhaya, they're unfiltered, untrained, raw talent, and they are still talented in that. So we've got talent. I just wish that the government would open up funds so that we can stretch miles and miles and miles and kilometers to go and get these talent and teach them, not necessarily bring them to Joburg to live here, but like bring the infrastructures to them, Because abantwana, when they come to Joburg, I know so many kids that came to Joburg and died in the search of gold in the city of gold, and it's not easy for everyone because we all come to Joburg. The change within the years is that what we've discussed, that now when we don't look at more talented people, raw talent, we look at the plasticky type, the like social media type,
Instagram.
the Instagram mish, that all that glitters is not necessarily gold. So, and it takes a real eye to sift through and pick the right gold and the right treasures, But talent ikona, and with training, I love training. I enjoy training. Um, I can make examples, and I hope that they don't fault me for making examples. I mean, it's a good ending. I'll make an example with Connie Ferguson. Umam Connie, when she started off as a model for generations, right? And through the years, with practice and training, she can do great characters like what she did on The Queen. So I'm not saying that when you're not talented, so there's born talent, meaning you're born with it, and there's talent like Umam Kone who trains and perfects the skill, and then you're talented. So it's not that you can't learn how to act. You can. It's possible. So it's just that in the years, back in the days in my time, in my time, we used to train and stay training, stay ready. Nowadays, once someone thinks that they're talented and they've been on TV once or twice, they don't even train anymore. They don't even perfect the skill over and over again. So it is possible for you to learn and practice the craft and become good. There's nothing impossible. All we have to do, the difference now, back in the days, actors used to put in the work. Nowadays, actors just rock up to work with not being prepared. They don't even have an actor's coach. Once they're on TV, they think, I've got it. I've got this character. I've nailed it. And there's no growth. There's no development. There's no, you know what I mean? The love and the research is not there.
Something about, like, the actor's journey. Like, I remember when I graduated from theater school and I got my first role as Maya Angelou, there was so much text. So much text. And the play was written by this beautiful, lovely woman called Kgomotso. And like I was coming in from another city, so my apartment was right across the theater. But every morning I would get there an hour early. And I'd pull the director and I'm like, I've gone through my notes. Here, please, let's talk it through. I thought about this. I thought about this character. I thought about this development here. I'm not sleeping. I'm on the job. But
The
I
spirit of
think
excellence.
when you're in theater or when you're doing a movie, maybe there's that room or that inspiration for you to want to do that. But I think soapies can maybe be a little bit more redundant
You
and
become relaxed.
repetitive, right? And I think maybe some actors might just be like, like, Giafana, like it seems like the character has been. But I think they might be still actors who still like look at the craft and say, I'm still showing up.
I pray so. I hope so. Yes, I believe so. But it's just that we've just seen a decline and a difference. But there are those hungry actors who just come and they're thrilled about their job and they'll do everything and they practice the 5 W's when you look at a scene. Remember those? And and they do their voice warm-ups and they do their body warm-ups and they stay ready, for whatever comes. There are those, I believe.
In your um, experience, one, and especially one of the objectives of KTL is to bridge the gap between the working actors and the non-working actors. In your experience, what is one of the things that non-working actors are missing in their business approach?
Mm. So you have to look at yourself as a brand.
Yep.
Yeah. In all four corners of this box. Hoping you're not in a box, but you have to look at yourself as a brand. And holistically, so some actors are not skilled in all four corners of the box. I'll make an example. I know for a fact that one of the things that made me move behind the scenes and become a casting director and everything is just that I couldn't keep up with the Joneses in the sense of posting, oh my gosh, I'm eating sushi right now. I'm not that girl. You're right. I'm more of a face to face. And I'm not saying that content is that only. I'm just saying that um like we said earlier on, when in Rome, do what the Romans do, and this is what the Romans are doing. The
Yeah.
Kardashians taught us well. you know,
Right.
so that you are lovable, so that you are in their face, so that when they
Mm.
see you and they want to see you on that show, the same thing that I said that veteran actors back in the days, we would have a club where twice or three times a week, even if you're not working, you're not employed, we go to a community hall, we do workshops, acting workshops, and we train and we train and we sharpen one another so that when that opportunity comes, you're not
Ne-
stale and rusty and tired and out of shape, that when that opportunity comes, you're spot on, um we nowadays COVID taught us not to be doing one thing. You need to be social. you know
One thing I hated about COVID was introducing self-tapes.
I know, I
I
know, I know, I
You
know.
know what? I still struggle to this day with a self-tape. And
I'm going to do a video how to do a self-tape. It's been on my to-do list. I'm going to do it like
You know,
Mangoya
you
from
know,
Korea.
I've seen so many videos, and I'm looking forward to seeing a video. You should, and I'm going to be at the forefront of this. And I've
Okay.
watched and I've tried to research this, but there's something about having to read a script, especially if you don't have a reader, right? And pretending that there's someone there and pretending that I'm having an exchange with you. And as much as we are actors and we're supposed to just act it out, maybe my person, I need to feed off of you. I need to feed off each and every reaction that you have from your body language.
I know.
Ooh, I get a
I
high.
know.
And
Yeah,
then
I
now
know.
I must pretend I'm feeding off the wall or off a reader who is my niece and she's 22 and she knows nothing about it. She's like, and then we go. And then I'm just like, shoot me now.
I know. I know. I know. Look, it's not the best. Face-to-face physicality is always the best. However, from a casting director's point of view, when I'm seeing people face to face, I can only see about 20, 25 of you from 9 to 5 the whole day. And if at all it's self tapes, then I can see 3, 4, 5 times that amount. I'm just watching tapes, tape after the other, tape after the other, you know? It's a mission for you to record because you record, cut, do it again, cut. So it'll take you like 3 hours. Whereas when you come to an audition, 15 to 20 minutes max, and that interaction and that direction but
And you don't overthink it. You don't rewatch yourself, you know?
I
I
know,
think
I
there's
know, I know.
something there.
However, it's a catch-22. I love it as a casting director because I get to see 300 people, whereas you see
Mm,
25 people. So the net is like spread wider.
wider.
And it's a challenge, I know. However, I'm expecting you to do it. And you know, if I'm a good casting director, I will see the talent through even the little nitty gritties, mistakes doesn't. I will see it, you know. But as an actor you should be thinking, like, you should be imaginative. You should, this is like one of the 4 elements of acting: observation,
Yes, of
experience,
course. Of
imagination. So
course.
so as an actor you should be able to imagine your reader, to imagine to have fun by yourself on a self tape, and let your personality shine through at the,
Mm,
you know, where you can get them if you're missing that connection on your ID. Angithi i-ID siyenza portrait and then self-tape
yeah.
siyenza landscape. So on your ID, be yourself. And then once it goes action, do the character. But you get to
Mm,
be yourself on the ID, you know? And in that ID or in that tape, there will be something that says to the casting director, call me and see me, and then you'll get your audition. But it COVID has taught us to work effectively, to work fast, and COVID has taught us that you can't do one job. That's where I was to tell you that multi streams of income is very important as an actor, to bridge that gap, you know. You can't just say, Mina, only an actor. I've met actresses and actors who just refuse
yes.
to learn another skill in the industry. They just refuse. And you know, it is what it is. You can't judge them. You can't, you know, you can only advise and from a distance, you
One
know.
conversation or some conversations I've had from veteran actors to new actors in the game has been why must I be anything else but the craft? And
All right.
for me, it's like I hear you, but this is part of the craft.
However, yeah, it's the same
This is
thing as
part of the
saying,
craft.
yeah, it's the same thing as saying, Mina ngithanda Instagram. Why must I post something? Darling, this is where the world is going. This is where we are in Rome. Do what the Romans do. It's uncomfortable. How else are we supposed to grow if we don't stretch ourselves? You know, if you're comfortable, you're not growing. So I just did an acting gig now in January of 2026, and I'm a casting director. I've got a class I'm teaching. I'm working behind the scenes on producing a short film. Ngiyenza all of that.
You're an
Darling,
infant mom.
and I'm in the body, and I'm
You're a
and
mom,
I'm
and
still
that's a
breastfeeding. Yes,
lot.
it is. It really is. And I'm not gonna stand here and sit here and say, "Oh, I'm excelling and it's all great." I get overwhelmed, and that's where my Christianity comes in. My foundation, my faith. It carries me. Dude, I don't want to lie. I couldn't have done, or like, oh, I can't do all of these things if God is not carrying me. God is carrying me through all of them, and He's giving me excellency, and He's giving me ideas, and He's giving me growth and open doors and opportunities every single time. That's how I've been sustained throughout this business for over 20 years. I keep on saying 20 years, 2 decades. For 2 decades, yes, 20 years, over 20 years. And it's just, it's to stay relevant, to stay consistent, you
That
know?
part. I have been in this game for I got my first agent at 12.
Oh, yay.
And they were in Hyde Park. I think they were called Casting Comedies, or Casting something. They were in Hyde Park.
Yeah.
And my parents got scared because, a lot of artists were dying of drugs and the lifestyle. And my parents were like, nope.
Yeah.
And that I had to fight my parents to actually do what I do because they saw how that played out. But, and then like, I went back into the game again at 19 with radio and whatnot. But I think for me, you have to stay relevant. And even when I was abroad, I made sure that I stayed relevant somehow. Because the
Yeah.
worst thing you can do is people be like, your CV's blank. What have you been
Yeah.
doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
What have you been doing? And
Yeah.
it's okay to pivot. Because I think people feel like if I don't get an acting gig every 6 months, then I'm irrelevant. No, pivot. Because your motivation will be, no, but I was doing radio. No, I was doing a podcast. No, I was writing.
Yeah.
Pivot, stay creative. And I feel like for me, as a person who's been multifaceted in a time where multifaceted wasn't a thing, everybody was like, pick a niche. And I'm like, why must I pick a niche? You know what I mean? Everybody's like, pick a niche. And still today, I don't have a niche. It's because I
Yeah.
find that every aspect of creativity feeds back to this. It feeds back to my acting. It feeds back. I'm in season. I see myself. I don't only see. I actually don't see myself as an actor. I see myself as a creative. And
Cool.
acting is one of the mediums in which I'm in seasons of. So if I'm acting, that's a season. If I'm, like doing theater, that's a season. If I'm doing radio, that's a season. Everything is a season that is creativity that keeps my mind going. If I'm producing, that is a beautiful season because I get to imagine. And I think with that, for me, I'm asking, like, one of my next questions is like, why was it important for you as KTL to not just be a casting agency, because that kind of brings in the multifacetedness, right? But also a school that teaches the practical side, like from CV building to social media influence. Why did you feel that, this is something that it can't just be a casting agency? For me, I know that I can't just be an artist. I also have to be a business.
Good. 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 I hear you, and it stems from the actor being a whole brand.
Yes.
So as I was remember I moved from acting to casting, and as I was doing casting, I realized that there's something that the casting director wants that the actor is not getting. There's a gap in between.
Mm.
And that's when I went into teaching. It's like, you know what? Let me teach them how to, so that everyone can be happy. The casting director can get what they want, and the actor can get the job. And then as I'm casting now, I'm realizing that I'm taking my students that I'm teaching to other casting agencies, and they're not taking care of my kids, you know. And that's when I realized, okay, cool. I need to open a casting agency.
Yeah.
Now I make sure that my artists don't ever go to an audition without the coaching of a casting director, and we discuss it, we break it down, and then we do the whole thing. We brand you. I'm not saying dress like this, eat like this, but we advise on you, your look, your feel, what the industry's accepting, what the industry's what's missing in the industry. You know, how can you do this? How can you do that? How can make you stand out? You know, we advise, we create as creatives, we create this character or persona or brand, and we keep it afloat. You know, we take you here. Like we've got this club of the theater club, where because you're not um you need to you can't eat an apple and expect to burp a banana. You know, you have to eat an apple and burp an apple. So we feed actors theater. We take them to theater shows at the Market Theater, Joburg Theater, State Theater, and they watch shows and they get inspired. For me to get into this industry, I saw Mabato Kgomotso doing Caesar. It's called it's Caesar, but they did it into Zulu, and they were calling it Caesar. It was so beautiful, you know, and I was hooked from watching how that girl killed herself on stage. The artistry of it, you know.
Right.
And from that day, that was it. And so that's what we do in KTL. We make you eat theater, eat film, eat, eat, and train and keep yourself busy so that when the opportunity comes, you are
You're
ready.
ready. You're
Yeah,
ready. You're
yeah.
ready. I think that's a beautiful way in terms of, and I see that agencies are trying that, but like, and you know, each like an agency per se is a partner for me. It's somebody
Yeah.
who's going to. I don't want to be a number, and I
No.
think a lot of agencies you become a number, and
Yeah,
especially
yeah.
when there's such a hungry amount of human beings who want to do this. And what do you think are some of the risks? Because I think for me personally, I've seen big agencies go small. I've, to really focus on uh the people, but also
Yeah.
I've seen agencies neglect their actors and neglect their pool that they have, and they're sitting on talent and pool. And how do you think that, like, how do you spot that talent, that diamond in the rough that's waiting in your agency books, that has just not been cultivated or been given enough attention just of yet? Do you think it's the responsibility of the artist, or do you think you, as well as the casting director, it is also a responsibility on your side as well?
So for us to accept you into the agency, you have to have that X factor, that rough diamond thing. You have to have something, right? And it's a 50-50 relationship. It's a relationship. It's not that you work for the agency or the agency works for you. Hawa. It's a partnership, you know? You have to keep yourself giving us latest photos that are, professional pictures. We all, and then we give you briefs all the time. You have to go and train all the time, stay relevant, and we communication, just like in every relationship, is key. If you don't communicate, like you said, there's like a lot of people in the agency, then you're gonna move from here to nowhere, out of sight, out of mind, out of sight. So now it's your responsibility to communicate. I'm not saying ube is tefe. No,
What
I'm
is this
just
for
saying
people who don't know? I've heard.
irritating all the time. I'm not saying that. However, I'm just saying be intentional about
Mm.
your career, you know? Um, come up with ideas, present them to the agency. The agency will come up with ideas and present them to you. It's a relationship, a partnership, a 50-50. No one works for either, you know? So I think artists need to go into it like that, and things will be better and relationships will be more clearer.
Before I ask you a final question, what do you miss acting?
Well, yes, I do. I love it. It's my first love. I lie. My first love is music. I'm a singer. I just did a role on Scandal, so that thirst is kind of quenched for now. I love it
Lovely.
though. Yeah, I was playing the character of Betha. I mean, as sweet as I am, I can transform and be a jail bully. I was a bully in jail. I actually killed someone. But anyway, too much information. Go watch the show. 8 o'clock, ETV Scandal. Um, however, I'm doing training all the time. I'm doing self tapes all the time. I'm acting all the time with my co-actors that I'm training, I have to be present. So it's in me every
Yeah.
day. It's my job every day. And what I really miss is singing. I used to be such a songbird every morning, every
Mpulelo.
day, and I
Sing
thought
for me.
when I
Sing
came
for
into the
me.
industry it would be through music, but hey, God knows, God has
Do you
plans.
want to sing a note, or shall we save it for the
Ah,
end?
I knew it.
I'll sing with you. We can sing. We can sing a song together. We could do a duet. We'll save it for the end. So what
Ah,
one thing? The final question.
yeah.
That I want to ask you is what one piece of business advice do you wish you had known when you're just starting out, and where can actors go to find out more about KTL training and casting calls?
We are on Instagram as KTL Casting. We are on Facebook as K.T.L Casting. We are on WhatsApp on 072. So it's +27. Hello, internationals. +27 72 620 9550. And TikTok as well as KTL Cast. Trust, Duduzile. Yo, my fingers have been burned because I trusted the wrong people, and
La vie.
myself. I opened up myself to, yeah. So don't trust people. Everyone is out for themselves, and
Yay.
it's okay. It's okay that they're out for themselves. Let's not judge them. Let's not be harsh, but don't be vulnerable. Don't open up yourself to vultures out there. This business is a cutthroat business. Be intelligent, be intentional, and be kind to self and to those around you. But most importantly, love them all. Love them, because I mean, love is God. So love them all, but trust only God. Do
You
not
know,
trust
your
anyone.
message comes a little too late, Kgomotso. The past year of me being back in South Africa, Chale,
Hey,
Chale.
Charlie.
And
Charlie.
maybe it's gullibility of being in Europe where there's a trust
Yeah.
system and things are functioning. There's something about the hustling culture of South Africa that is ruthless and
Mm,
and
mm.
very much looking for creatives to feed on. Is
Yeah,
what I'm finding is that the last year, like in 12 months, what I've been through is unheard of.
that's
It's
good.
unheard of. Like you pitch,
Mhm.
they're like, "We'll call you back." The next thing, the thing is produced. I'm like, "What? This has never
Yeah.
happened to me in my career.
Mm,
What is happening?"
yeah. Yeah.
Everybody always says to me, "You must be careful. You must be careful. People are taking your ideas." But at the same time, I sat with that to say that, okay, people will take my ideas. People will take my ideas. But at the same time, the idea must come into the world. It must breathe. I
Yes.
also want
Yeah.
to be able to create in a way that I can breathe an idea into the world and not have vultures coming in. But what I
Mm,
realized, I think, in this journey is that you can try taking the idea that I have. I can never fully tell you the whole idea. And I've seen how scared people are, even with people who wanted to co-work with me and be like, I cannot send you this. We need to have a meeting. I need to, can you need to look on the computer. And I'm like,
NDA.
but even with NDAs, it's court processes, it's proving, it's, I've just realized to myself that universe or God, the fact that you put this idea in my brain, the fact that you want me to actualize this, because you've given me this, it is your duty to protect it.
Yeah.
I give it to you to hold. And I think for me, I'm a very spiritual person, and I always say to myself, my guides, my ancestors, whatever you want to call them, angels, whatever spiritual language you want to call them, it is their job to protect. And those, I always say, Islam is so strong, it's insane. My guides are petty. And sometimes I'm like, you know what, if you want to take it, take it. But then you ask yourself, why don't you succeed in life? Because
Because it won't have your fingerprint. You
no,
won't
and
do it,
also
execute it the way that.
you've suppressed your creative power. Because we all have creative power. You suppressed your creative power. You didn't trust your creative power. And you thought somebody else's creative power is going to take it to the finish line. You might not get your karma now or in the immediate. I always say, Islam will come back. And that thing of us, like the pitch that I did with the two of my working colleagues, this was like June. By October, by October. And so call onto your guides, call onto your angels, call on them and say, you know what? You led me there. You gave me this idea. You opened the doors. You said, go to this person, have discernment, right? And when that person takes your trust and throws it in the bin, do this. Say, okay, universe, fine. They've taken that idea. What do I do with it? No, but you have the root of the idea. That one was just clickbait. Let's redirect you. The idea is big. If a seed has so many ways in which it can grow. The problem is we sit on this idea and we're like, this is the only way the idea can grow. This is the only way no, it's one of many seeds. And when we, and the creativity for me is open. Okay, here's one branch of the idea. Somebody took it. Oh, that's fine. At least I understand what this idea looks like. How can I retake that and repurpose it? Because that's what they're going to do with your idea anyway. But anyway, I don't want to vent too much about. I've just seen flames.
Okay. I hear you. I hear you. And babe, you've learned.
Yes.
You've learned.
Yes.
You are wiser. You are stronger. And you know better now. Okay. They didn't kill you. They didn't suck out your brain.
No.
You are still intact. Okay.
I'm still intact and I'm still moving forward. And I always say that my brain, the universe has given me the gift of creativity, which means ideas are always circulating. There will always be ideas that are going to come to me. You think taking that idea will cripple? No, it's just you're sowing the seed. You're saying to the universe, that what it's giving me is good.
Yes,
it's
right now you're doing one of your beautiful ideas. Exactly. So we thank God.
We do.
Thank you so much for.
Thank you, my darling. Before we go, I know we're running low on time, but I want to. What song are we singing?
In the morning, it will be all over in the morning. I mean, oldies but goodies.
No, keep going. I'm trying to come in. To support you. One more time.
In the morning, it'll be all over in the morning. You know, I've got this, sorry, now I'm not going. There's this, in my house, there's murals everywhere. And for me, my scripture is like, joy comes in the morning. Like, we will struggle through the night, we will wrestle. Yeah, joy
And I
comes from
remember
God.
these songs. How does that song go? And troubles don't stay played at all. How does that go? And if I
And
don't remember the line. I know
it
that
just
you.
that I can make it.
I
I know that
know that I can
I can
stand.
stand.
No
No
matter
what
what
make
may
my
come my
way.
way.
My
My
life
life is
is
in your
your
hands.
hands.
Bum 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 bum
With
bum
Jesus,
bum.
I can make it.
You sing, girl.
With
With
him, I
him I can,
know I can.
no matter what, by my
Make
way.
a way. My
My
life.
life is in your hands.
Hallelujah.
Bum, bum,
Hallelujah.
bum.
Hallelujah.
Oh,
Hallelujah.
the heathen in me hasn't been in church in such a long time. Thank you for taking me down memory lane.
Tithing. You are the church. Those are just buildings. You
I
are the
know.
church. Open your own Bible and speak to your God. There's a relationship there. You don't need no middle person. You
Always,
know?
always. Thank you for making it with your busy schedule. Thank you for being this amazing human being that you are. And you know I love you lots. You drive me crazy sometimes, but I love you lots. Let it be known. But I love you lots, and thank you for really coming on board and having this lovely chat with me.
All the
All the best with
God.
KTL. E tshwana le keng
Amen.
ntho what's an elephant Umpedi or
Kitlo,
Motswana?
kitlo,
Kitlo. Wait,
kitlo,
why am I
kitlo.
even saying that my cousin's surname Kitlo? Wait.
Thank you, my dad.
Have a good one.